from Happy Dog Training, and welcome to another episode of Dog Talk. The topic today is titled, Should You Train Your Dog? Now that sounds a little funny. He's a dog trainer. What is he talking about? Of course you should train your dog, right? Well, probably, but maybe not. So let me start from the beginning and let's get into what I want to talk about here. So when you have a puppy, when you have a dog, and you're a first-time dog owner, you've never had a dog before, you don't know anything about dogs, this is really, or maybe little about dogs, you have never potty trained a dog, you don't know how really to teach, maybe you watched some YouTube videos and some treat work and found a channel that you found cute and entertaining, but don't really know if that's good or not. Yeah, you probably should hire a dog trainer, and you probably should train your dog, because if you've never done it, you don't know what you're getting yourself into, you maybe don't know your breed that you picked as well as you think you do from your research that you may have done about the dog breed or not. But if you have no idea about dogs, you hire a trainer, you should probably train your dog. So that's pretty straightforward answer. But if you are an experienced dog owner, if you had dogs for a while, or if your dog that you rescued a dog who's older, who seems super friendly and nice, may not know anything, but is a friendly guy, follows you around, a friendly girl, just follows you around, and doesn't really have any issues, the question becomes not as straightforward to answer. So a lot of times when you decide of what you want to do with your dog, should you train him, should you not train him, most of the time when the dog trainer is being called is because there's a problem of some sort. Right? So I think the majority of dog owners are actually trying to get by on their own before they spend money on dog training. It's at least my perception. And then there's a smaller group who get a puppy and they just want the puppy trained up well from the start, and they just have it in their head, I'm going to hire a trainer, I want the puppy well trained from the start. Nothing wrong with that. Or you know, I don't have the time, I have certain expectations of my dogs, I need them to know these things because I'm going to these places, I'm doing this stuff, this is helpful to me, I need this, I can't do it, let me hire someone. So there is, of course, that group in the population who is very clear-eyed about how they want to live with their dog, what their dog needs to be able to know or do or listen to be able to do that well, and perfect, right? That's like the ideal client. They have very concrete ideas, they have goals, they know what they want, they know the dog breed that they love, and you can teach whatever they want to. Let's assume it's not complicated. I mean, if it's like some crazy specialized stuff, it becomes particular which dogs can do it, right? But with normal obedience, every dog can do it. But if you're very clear-eyed about, I'm always going camping with my dogs and I need them to have a perfect recall and I need them to stay in a downstay no matter what, because that's good in the campground. And that having these behaviors will allow them to go with us to the campgrounds and go on the hiking trails and have a wonderful experience out in the wild. It will enrich the dog's life. Perfect, right? Great goal. Get into puppy training, teach that, a couple of other things, build a good foundation. Nothing wrong with that. Yes, you should train your dog in this case, and you should have him trained well. Absolutely. But aside from these particular things where you go in and you know I need this and this for these and these goals, you just getting a dog because you want a buddy, you want a friend. You like dogs, you want to live with a dog, you want to give a dog a home, you want to rescue a dog. Whatever your motivation, you don't have any fancy goals, you don't have any particular needs. The question of if you should train your dog or not is a very individual question. So let me give you an example, a personal example. Obviously, I'm a dog trainer, and I think I mentioned this before. A lot of people think my dogs are very well trained because a lot of dog trainers like to show off the excellent training they have done on their own dogs, or their demo dogs. They can showcase, this is what I can do. Right? My dogs are not very well trained. My dogs listen to me. If I call them, they come back. They come back because they have a motivation to come back. They don't come back because I trained a recall command. They like being with me. That's why they come when I call them. It's a very different reason they're coming back than I taught you a recall. You're coming when I call the word recall. I can say my dog's name and bum, there they are. And I've never formally trained it. They just love me because I do fun things with them and they have a high motivation to be around me. So when I call them, they want to be there. That's one of them. The other one I rescued 10 years ago or so. Longer story around that, but she ended up staying with me. I was planning on adopting her out from my rescue, but I ended up keeping her. And her name is Nubia. I mentioned her before. She is an awesome dog. She's just incredible. I haven't trained a single thing to her. She stays by my side no matter what. We went out on the trail one time. There was a rabbit. She's like interested. I go, Nubia. And she's like, okay. I've never trained a thing with her. She just stays by my side. She's a fantastic dog. I've never trained anything with Nubia. And she is one of the best dogs I have. So when you rescue a dog, sometimes you get just lucky. Whether it's that, I mean, obviously I got very lucky with her. There's no special sauce here. I got lucky. But if you get lucky and you have a dog who's a little older, no longer a puppy, you're through all of that, a couple of years old, maybe 2 years, from the shelter, and she's a nice dog or he's a nice dog, and you play with them, and you don't really care about anything. They stay by your side. They listen to you when you call them. You tell them to stop doing something. They're like, okay. You don't really need any other training. It's not that you need to teach specific commands or behaviors or anything. If your dog is easy to live with and is fun to be around and generally behaves themselves, you don't need to send your dog to training. You don't need to learn to train yourself. You don't need to train anything. Sometimes it's just all working out and there's nothing necessary. And if you had a dog before and you're getting another dog or you're getting an additional dog and you want to try it yourself and see how it goes and see how the dog fits into the family, if there anything needs to be done or not. I think most people do that anyway. But if that's the approach you want to take, I think that's also perfectly fine. And maybe at some point you see something that requires attention and you hire a trainer to fix it or to address something or to teach something. But if not, great. Right? We have 81 some million dogs in America. And I don't think the majority of those dogs have seen dog trainers. I mean, I don't know the numbers on that, but I doubt it, actually. Right? So, and I know some people will just tolerate lots of kinds of things and live with things that I wouldn't live with and most people wouldn't live with. There's that too. So some people don't care what their dogs do. They just tolerate everything. And they may be miserable inside, but they don't feel they can do anything about it for whatever reason and just like let it all go. Okay. It's not up to me to decide that for you. But as long as it's not a dangerous behavior and they're just annoying them and they don't want to take action, so be it. I'm not really talking about that either. I'm talking about dogs that are more or less okay and don't really need anything. It's not that you need to teach a standard set of commands that every dog should know, or every dog should have this, or every dog should have that, or every dog needs to do it this way, every dog needs to do it that way, every dog needs to walk on the left. No. Now, if your dog loves to walk on the right and you don't mind, so what? Who cares? It's not important. Some things may be important. If your dog drags you down the street, you want to address that. That's not a good idea. Right? So that's going to cause problems. So you want to teach either that yourself or have someone else help you do it with a trainer. But should you train your dog? It's a very individual decision. And it should be guided by what are your needs? What are your goals? What makes sense to you? If your dog is inside, outside, on a farm, has a dog door and just like hangs out and everybody's happy, why would you ever hire a trainer for anything? It's not necessary. You don't need that in this case. If you then move from that location into an apartment, your dog may develop some challenges and you don't know how to deal with them. You may need a trainer at that stage. Or maybe the dog goes with someone to college or whatever. Right? So if circumstances change, needs may change. But it's totally fine to wait it out if that's what you want to do. If you know what you're getting yourself into with a puppy and what's going to come when the puppy hits 8-9 months and you're willing to deal with all of that, you don't need a trainer either, right? If you don't know what that may be, what I just said, please hire a dog trainer because otherwise you're in for some interesting surprises. So, but it depends on your experience with dogs. It depends on your how many dogs have you had, how many dogs do you currently have, where's the new dog from, do you expect a problem there? Do you have to integrate an adult dog with other adult dogs? Is it a puppy that you want to just like enjoy a little bit before you do anything else? There's so many factors that go into the training of a pet, if or if not that is necessary, that are completely individual to you. So don't let anyone ever tell you that a dog must be trained a certain way. With a pet, that is not the case. If we're talking about specialized working dogs, that's a whole different conversation. Like service dogs, obviously, right? They need to have like really good public obedience. And obviously the tasking and everything. Then sport dogs, that's a whole different world. But for pets, it's up to you what your dog needs to know. It's up to you what you require to have harmony in your home. It's up to you what skill set you require your dog to acquire and what you're going to do with your dog. All these things are completely individual choices. As long as the dog's living a rich life, gets to do dog things, and everybody is getting along, and you have no issues, you're good, right? If that need changes for whatever reason, maybe you're single, you have a dog, and you don't care about a whole lot of things, everything's good, and then you start dating someone, and your partner has a little bit more like control requirements of an animal in their home, which is completely reasonable. If somebody doesn't like the dog jumping on everything and you deciding this is my partner now and we want to be together, then yeah, you gotta come to a new arrangement, because you can't just say, well, my dog gets to jump on everything all the time and I don't care what you want. It's probably going to be the end of your relationship. So probably not a good idea to take that approach. So you have to kind of start compromising, and maybe that includes some training at that stage. But again, all these things are very individual. So always evaluate what it is that you need that makes sense for your circumstances, for your family, for your children, for your spouse, for your kid, for you, for your lifestyle, for your goals, for your vacation plans, for your travels, for your hikes, whatever it is that you do with your dog, right? What is it that my dog can or cannot do today? What would I like to do with them instead? Is there anything we need to train to accomplish that? Yes or no? There's your answer. Do I need a trainer? Do you have a behavioral problem that needs to be fixed? Well, you probably need a trainer, right? If you have any kind of aggression problem, or your dog shows aggression towards something, please hire a trainer. This can get out of control pretty quickly. So if you see behavioral problems develop that weren't there yesterday, all of a sudden they start popping up for whatever reason, have a professional take a look at the situation. Because it can get worse and often does. So if it starts up at some point, something that wasn't there before. If your dog's very fearful, maybe a perfectly fine dog in every aspect, very insecure, a skilled trainer can help you make improvements there. It won't become a social butterfly, but you can make him better, a lot better often. So if there's something where you think training could make a difference, consider it. If you have zero issues and your dog's a happy being, maybe you don't need a trainer. So my whole point of this short podcast, because it's a shorter one today, was to get you to think about, do I need a trainer? Do I actually need training? What are my goals? What do I want to accomplish? What's right for me? If the answer is, well, I want a well-trained dog, perfectly fine answer, hire a trainer. If the answer is, I don't really know what I want, maybe give it some time. Give it a month or two. See how your dog fits in, and then go from there. Decide, he does this, I don't like that. This is cute. Maybe we could put that on command or so, do it more often, like things like that. Right? So start looking at it from the perspective of, I don't think I have a problem, let's give it some time, or I know I want these things for whatever reason, let's do them. There's no time to wait in this case. So if you know you want it, then don't wait. The sooner the better, right? I mean, old dogs can learn new tricks, absolutely can learn new tricks, but it doesn't necessarily get easier if you wait until your dog's 5 years old. Right? So if you want certain things, maybe teach them earlier. Would be probably a better approach. Okay, so that was it for today. I know it was a shorter one, but this was a shorter topic. But it's something I wanted to get out here on the channel for a while. So I thought I'd make a video about it in the podcast. Okay, I hope that was informative, a little bit interesting, and I see you next time. Bye.